Well, hang on to your chairs because we're going on a field trip. Yee-haw! The Longmont station was built by the Colorado and Southern in the 1800s and eventually taken over by the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy. The Colorado and Southern Railway was a Class 1 railroad that operated from 1898 to 1908. And then they were absorbed by the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad, the Burlington route, until it was absorbed into the Burlington Northern in 81. So the Burlington ran from 1908 to 1981, and they ran out of this station. I've seen photographs of the Zephyr, the all-aluminum unit train pulling into the station, as well as other passenger trains, and loaded with people in their 1800 clothes, in their 1800s clothes, getting ready to board or meeting people or getting off the train or whatever. And so it's got a tremendous history. I think there is some use even today by the BNSF, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe. And they usually park a few engines nearby here. That's their main line coming up from Denver in the foreground there. Not that there's a rail on the ground, but then beyond that there's a pair of tracks, and that is their main line going up to Cheyenne and going to points north. Colorado, this line has had a lot of use, passenger use in the past, but now it is still being used as a freight operation for consolidating trains, freight coming out of Longmont and dropping off freight here. There is a container yard here. I'm not sure if it's operation, but there is a container yard, and there's quite a bit of activity here. There's a number of trains a day. I'd say there's 5 or 6 big trains a day that come through here. There's a curiosity over here. There's an old caboose. Not sure exactly what the story with that is, but it certainly is an interesting artifact. If walls could talk, the stories they could tell. Let's move the camera so we can look down the tracks a little bit. This building was built to last. Built out of Colorado stone. And look at the roof. The roof is beautiful with those eyebrow windows in it. Must have been really gorgeous in its day. It's not that bad now, it's just dirty. If it was cleaned up, it would be an amazing building. This is where the main line of the Burlington, of the BNSF, and probably the CNS goes right down the street. Houses both sides. Traffic. Mainline trains come right around that curve. Hello. Well, not a lot has happened. I have all the turnouts now. I have the track connectors, rail connectors. I have all the insulated rail connectors. I have the flex track. The only thing I think at this point I'm lacking to just go ahead and charge forward are the motors. Tip this down a little bit for the turnouts. And I worried about how I was going to do it, how they would be done. And finally I came up with a solution, and I'll show you. Get all this disconnected. Can't very well start gluing things down until I get everything solved. One of these is glued down. I'll show you that in a minute. So that's how that's going to work. The cork is 6 millimeters. Actually, I need to glue that down. That's not a problem. I can do that pretty easily. It's 6 millimeters, and this wood insert is 6 millimeters. So it lays flat. It's sitting on the foam, as you saw. It rests on the foam. There's a hole for this to go down in there. And there you go. I found a couple little pieces of jewelry to go on the system. Little Coca-Cola truck, semi-tractor and trailer. And in my search for vehicles, I found this little guy, which is a 1950 Dodge sedan, 4-door. That's what most people had in those days. Very few had all the movie stars, you know, they had the fancy cars, but 1950 was after the war. People were letting loose as much as they could, but they didn't really have that much. I mean, they were gaining on it. Don't get me wrong. They were gaining on it, but they just didn't have that much at the time. So I have to make a decision. I don't think I'm going to use these tortoise motors like I used on my layout. This was a spare from Farland. Circuitron makes what they call a Smale motor, and it is DCC equipped so that I could control it with my iPad. Same way I control all the trains, which will be nice. I didn't do that on over there on Farland, but if I'm going to take this to shows, I want it as slick as can be. So I believe that I will get the Smale, S-M-A-I-L, turnout motors. There's my stack of plinths for turnout motors. So once I determined the exact spot, this one, I wasn't sure what I was doing exactly. I was finding out, I was learning. So let's widen out that. So I was thinking I would put the wire in the center, but I don't think that's the way I'll do it. I think I'll put the tortoise motor in the center. That'll put the wire up over here somewhere. But all I really need to do is know where the wire needs to come out, and then it's all pretty easy from there. I haven't dragged a lot of my buildings and all that other stuff out here as yet. They'll just get in the way as I'm constructing. See you next time.